Don't throw away your competition barbecue trimmings. I'm gonna show you 3 things that you can do with all this leftover meat. When I trim meats for barbecue competitions, I end up with a lot of leftovers. Some pit masters may choose to throw this stuff out. I don't, because it is fantastic meat, and honestly, most of the time it's high quality meat, especially when we're cooking with Wagyu brisket. What I have here are my pork trimmings. So this is basically all pork butt, all pork shoulder, just cut into chunks. And then over here is my brisket. Today I do have a mix of some Wagyu as well as some prime grade because I did a test brisket that was prime. What I'll do a lot of times is I will trim up all my meat, I will vac seal it, and I'll freeze it for days like today. Now, if I only had a little bit of meat trimmings to do, I would pull out my KitchenAid. There's a handy little meat grinder attachment for that. But we've got a lot of meat today. While this guy is a beast and takes a little bit to set up, it's so worth it when we get to grinding because I'll be done in like 30 to 60 seconds. That's how fast it is. First things first, I've got to add on the grinder attachment. That's this whole part right here. You slide it in, turn this knob, and that's gonna tighten it. Give it a little wiggle, it should be secure. Next, we're gonna stick this inside. This helps churn out the meat. Now we've got the cutting blade. You want the smooth side to be toward the motor and kind of the flat side to be toward the outside. Next, this is what the meat's gonna pass through. I don't know what size I'm using today, but it's got pretty small holes on it. You just secure it all with this right here. Nice. Last, and I know you can't see me now, but this is what's gonna hold the meat. There we go. And then you just have to plug it in. Okay, it's gonna get really noisy when I start this, so let me explain a few things before we get going. Like I said, this is all my brisket trimmings. I like to cut it into like 1 or 2 inch cubes, and I like to leave a little bit of fat. That way you can control the fat percentage. You don't want it to be too lean, and if you want, you can even put in pieces of fat like this, which I will do a few of those, especially if I'm doing prime or choice grade meat. Again, the advantage of using this big guy is I can dump everything in here. With my KitchenAid, it's like 1 piece at a time, and it takes such a long time that your meat can get a little bit warm, which can cause the fat to render, which if you're doing smoked sausage, that's not great because it'll give it kind of a gritty texture. You want your meat super cold when you're grinding. Okay, there's a hole in here. We're gonna push it through the hole, and I've got this little device here that I'm gonna push it down. Let's turn it on and you guys are gonna see how fast this is. I mean, check that out. I'm gonna change the camera angle for you. And just like that, the beef is done. Time to move on to the pork. Now, there is a little bit of brisket left inside of here. You can do one of 2 things. You can either take this apart, clean it out, and start fresh with your pork, or you can be a little bit lazy like me. I like to do a pork and beef blend for meatballs a lot of times. So I'm just gonna go ahead and throw my pork in here, and I know that the first amount of this is gonna be a mixture of pork and beef, but I'm fine with that. So let's get going on the pork. Same thing. We're gonna dump the whole pan in here. I'm not gonna change the camera around to show you different angles because I want you to see how fast this is. Now I'm gonna stop because I know that this batch right here has a little bit of pork and a little bit of beef, so I'm gonna set that aside. Now everything else is just all pork. Almost done. It's slowing down enough to where I'm just gonna cut it off. There's probably a little bit of pork left in there, but honestly, I probably have 5 pounds of pork in here and another pound over here, plus 5 pounds of ground beef. That is a lot of ground meat. Now I'm gonna show you what I do with it. But first, let's get this monster out of the way. You know what? Just in case you're curious to see what is left, that's it. Just that much meat. That's hardly anything. I am gonna toss that. Now that we have all of this ground pork and all of this ground beef, of course, you can just vac seal it all. I like to portion it out into 1 pound portions, put it in a vac seal bag, seal it up, mark it, put the date on it, throw it in the freezer. It's good for like a year. Then you can pull it out anytime and make hamburgers or anything you want to make with ground beef or ground pork. But today I'm going to show you 3 other things that you can do that I really like. So first thing we're going to do is make meatballs. And instead of cooking the meatballs, I'm just going to go ahead and vac seal them and freeze them. So whenever somebody pops over and you need a quick meal or a quick snack, you can just pull out the meatballs from the freezer, throw them on the grill. So I've got panko and I've got milk, and I just kind of want to let that soak so that the panko breadcrumbs get some moisture to them. This is going to keep your meatballs juicy. I like to let that sit for like 3 to 5 minutes. Then I also get 4 cloves of garlic. Fresh is best, but if you want to use garlic powder, that's fine too. And then you need about a tablespoon of rub. I've got 2 teaspoons of my brisket rub and a teaspoon of kosher salt. My pork rub is also great. The brisket rub is good if you want more savory meatballs, and the pork rub is good if you want more sweet meatballs. While the panko's rehydrating, we're also going to add our meat to this pan. I like to get a scale, set your pan on here. Whoops. Make sure you hit 0. That way it's 0 weight right now. It's not weighing all these ingredients and it's not weighing the pan. That way we know that we're adding a pound of meat. This is the blend that I had earlier that was part beef and part pork. Let's see how close we got to a pound. Yeah, pretty good. And now you just want to mix everything together. Awesome. Just mix it up great with your hands until it's well combined. You can double this, triple this, whatever you want to do. Obviously, we have a lot of ground meat to work with, so if you want to make all meatballs, have at it. All right, that's mixed up. Then you're just going to pinch off some, roll it into whatever size you like. Most of the time, I do golf ball size. Sometimes, though, I do like little mini meatballs, and I put that into pasta dishes. You can also stuff your meatballs with cheese. I like to use Oaxaca cheese. I've got a recipe at girlscangrill.com that shows you how to do that. Just try to get them pretty even in size. It's a pretty fast process, and if you want and you've got some kids and they need something to do, you can put them to this task also. One key thing though is you want to move fast. You don't want to overwork the meatballs. You don't want them to get too warm, because then the natural fats inside of this meat is going to start to kind of melt with the temperature of the room and the temperature of your hands. And when that happens, you're going to lose kind of some of that unctuousness, that juiciness. All right, there we go. See how fast that was? 12 meatballs, ready to cook right now, ready to chill, or ready to throw in the freezer. Let's move on to the next thing that I like to do with my ground meat. All right, moving on, we're gonna make breakfast sausage. I love homemade breakfast sausage. So I've got a pan, put it on here, press that 0 again so you know that your weight is 0. We're gonna use the ground pork, and I'm going for 1.5 pounds. I have a recipe at girlscangrill.com for breakfast sausage seasoning. That's what I've got in here. I've got 3 tablespoons of it. So 3 tablespoons for 1.5 pounds of meat. It smells so good. I mean, it just smells like breakfast. It's got fennel in it, salt, pepper. Oh, so good. It also has a little bit of sugar. I do like to use maple sugar because maple and sausage just go so well together. If you don't want to buy maple sugar, don't worry about it. You can just use regular sugar. You could use a little bit of brown sugar if you want to, or you could even put a little bit of maple syrup in here instead of using that dried maple sugar. Then get yourself a sheet of saran wrap. Kind of make a log out of this as best you can. Then let the saran wrap do the rest of the work for you. Kind of let it roll up, give it a twist, kind of let it roll there. And there you go, you've got breakfast sausage. You can vac seal this as well, or you can put it in a zip top bag, store it in the refrigerator for a couple days, or go ahead and freeze it, and then you've got breakfast sausage anytime you need it. All right, one more thing I like to do with ground pork is I have my scale set to 0. And now what I have here is my Italian sausage seasoning. I do make a spicy one and a non-spicy one. The main difference is just the spicy one has some chili flakes in it and the non-spicy one doesn't. So that's the beauty of making your own sausages, is that you don't have to worry about making it too spicy or too mild for your taste. You can make it exactly how you want it. And honestly, that's all there is to it. Get it mixed up good. And now you've got a pound of Italian sausage that goes great in any pasta dish that you make. I just throw this into a vac seal bag and I freeze it. And when I want to make spaghetti, I just pull it out of the freezer. And I still have this much meat to go. Can you imagine if I would have thrown all this away? So again, with the ground beef, a lot of times I will just keep it in 1 pound packages or 2 pound packages in the freezer, because then I can make tacos with it, I can make burgers with it. The pork, same thing, you can just leave it in 1 pound packages, but most of the time I'm making sausage out of the pork, or I'm mixing them both together when I make smoked sausages, which is a whole nother process, but these trimmings are perfect for that too. I hope that gave you guys some ideas of what to do with your leftover competition trimmings, or if you just wanted to pick up a pork shoulder, grind it up yourself and try something new. I will leave a link in the notes to the grinder that I used. That's huge. I'll also leave a link to the KitchenAid attachment in case you want to go more smaller scale. But if you have as many trimmings as I do, going with that Big Bertha, she's worth it. I have got one more tip to share with you guys before we wrap this up, and that is how to make all this meat fit in your freezer better. So after I vac seal everything, I take this and I use a rolling pin and I just flatten it out. Don't press too hard. You don't want to poke a hole through the packaging, but usually this packaging is pretty tough. And look at how skinny it is. Like, that's way better than doing a bunch of this. So this right here is all stacked up and ready to go in the freezer. Make sure you also write on it what it is. So I'm gonna put brisket. Sometimes I will put choice grade, SRF, if there's a difference. This is kind of a blend, so I'm not even gonna make a comment as to what type of brisket. But storing all of this in the freezer, my Italian sausage, my ground pork, my ground brisket, is so much more compact than trying to throw all of this in the freezer. Can you believe how much meat I have here for future meals that could have easily been thrown away? Right here, I've got 5 pounds of ground brisket. I've got 2 pounds of ground pork, 3 pounds of Italian sausage. In the fridge, I have another 1.5 pounds of breakfast sausage and 12 meatballs. That was worth the extra work because I have 2 weeks worth of meals at a minimum right here. And it's all so compact now and will fit in the freezer with no problem. And if you still don't need this much meat at home, that's fine. You can give this to friends. I mean, who's not gonna love a pound of ground Wagyu brisket or a pound of homemade Italian sausage? I mean, you guys will make friends super fast if you haven't already with all of your smoked barbecue. Thanks so much for watching, guys. You can find all of these tips and recipes at girlscangrill.com. Make sure you tap that subscribe button. See you next time.